Hello, this is Dr. Victoria Skirbo speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And I'd like to speak to you today about the Astrology and Kabbalah of the month of August 2017. I've been doing these the last couple of months and I'm a little late today. Today is August 4th. There is a pretty powerful square between Pluto and Jupiter, last quarter square. So I thought today would be a good day to sort of put this out there. So we are in an 8th month. Okay, of course August is the 8th month, and if we take the 8th month and add it to the universal year of 10-1, we get an 18-9 vibration. And the 18-9 vibration is, first of all, it's a 9 vibration, so it is about endings. It's about tying up loose ends. So there's a certain energy of endings in August, and then of course beginnings, because the other side of an ending is a new beginning. 9 is also the number of understanding, compassion, humanitarian endeavor, and it can also be a number associated with crime. The 9 is the last of the numbers, and within it we find the highest of the high and the lowest of the low energies. The 9 is considered the number of humanity. And so we see the best and the worst in people in a 9 vibration. Now this particular 9 is a 18-9 vibration, 18/9, and that is associated with this card right here in the tarot, which is the moon card. I want to talk a little bit about the symbology of the moon card. And here we have, this is the Rider-Waite deck, the deck I prefer to use. Here we have a dog and we have a wolf, and so that symbolizes both our tame nature and our untamed nature, and they stand side by side, and they're both howling at the moon. And behind them, in the background, are 2 towers. And those 2 towers symbolize the fact that we live in a dual existence. We see here at the bottom of the card, we have a body of water, and coming out of that water is a lobster or a crab, associated with our need to live in both realms, the realm of water, which is the emotions, and the earth, which is the body. And so there is a sense of having to deal with our feelings and our emotions with this card. If you were to get this card in a reading, I might say to you that there's going to be a lot of emotional ups and downs with this card, and it's necessary to understand that everything is cyclical. And so there is a sense of cyclicity here. I don't know if that's a word, but I made it one. And so things will feel good and bad, and we can't get caught up in that. Okay, we can't get caught up in the lunacy that can happen with this card and with this energy. The 18-9 as a Pisces vibration, because this card is associated with Pisces, and on the Tree of Life, which I'll turn around and show you in a minute, this path that this card sits on is associated with the sign of Pisces. We have Pisces in right now. The major thing in Pisces, of course, is Neptune, and it's been there for a couple of years. It's there for 14 years, and Neptune really is about dissolving the boundaries. And so we can see and we can feel that there's an unreality about this time. Okay, and that'll especially seem true this month. The 18-9 vibration deals with the idea of trying to save somebody, save the soul or whatever. And we can't really save the other. We can only work on ourselves, and in that respect, saving everybody else in a way, but not really saving them, because it's not about being a victim or being victimized. That is a construct that is time for us to release and let go of. and not have to experience anymore. That sounds very airy-fairy perhaps, and almost maybe to some a little crazy or ridiculous, but being a victim is a choice. Well, okay, the way you react to feeling victimized is a choice, you know. That's what I want to say. Okay, so let's go to the Tree of Life and see where this falls on the Tree of Life and what that means for us in August. Okay, so here we have our Tree of Life, and again, I apologize for the movement with the camera here. And so we have the Tree of Life, and we can see here that I have a path that is in yellow, and that is the path of the moon. This 18-9 path, I'll pull that in for you so you can see. Okay, August 18-9, Pisces. I'll pull it out again. And we can see that this is in the lower part of the tree. This is in the area of the personality. We are working within the area of the personality and the ego in this part of the tree. And this path connects Malkuth down here, which is, where are we? Malkuth and Netzach. Netzach associated with Venus, Malkuth associated with the Earth. And so this is along the right side of the tree here. This is the path, so this is, okay, if we look up here, this is the pillar of mercy, and the male side of the tree, and the pillar associated with the past. And here we come, and so to a certain extent, the past is visiting the present moment, because the center of the tree is about the present moment, and then of course the other side, the left side of the tree here, oh, there we go, is about the future. Okay, but we're dealing with the past and how the past is visiting us. And so really, we learn from the past, and it's about learning and letting go of the past. And so that's part of the process that we are going to experience this month. Venus, with Netzach up here, Venus is associated with our relationship to self and others. And of course, the Earth is about how we manifest our work on the planet. There is this path is known for bringing great natural forces to bear upon the Earth. Netzach, where we see Venus there, is associated with nature and the elementals of nature and the energy of nature. And so we could possibly see some elemental expression. What does that mean? Well, it means big storms, hurricanes, volcanoes, things like that. We may see a lot of that coming to bear on the planet with this energy. And so it's important for us to bring to the planet, on a positive note, bring to the planet what it is most important to us, what we value. That's Venus. And so part of that valuation is to be loving self, and then as an expression of that, loving others. And so the 9 is about compassion also, and so we need to be compassionate through this. Pisces is about compassion and about unconditional love and about oneness and unity consciousness. And so while things that we have come to depend on fall apart, we have to remember that we together have the capacity to blend and meld and really sort of recreate a new earth, really. There's a lot of imagination in this place, and it can be negative imagination or positive imagination, and I would suggest that you focus on the things you want to bring into your life at this time. Okay, I do want to talk about the eclipses that are occurring, and I'll do that in one moment. I'll be right back. Okay, so in August we have two eclipses. The first eclipse is a lunar eclipse, and that occurs at 16 degrees of Leo Aquarius. The sun, of course, being in Leo, it's August, and then the moon in Aquarius. Full moons, in general, are points of awareness, and eclipses bring that awareness up to more of a fever pitch. There's a sense of more energy. Eclipses are times when the magnetic field of the earth shifts. It's sort of shut off and then turns back on. And so there is this sense of a reboot. Now, full moons are generally times of fruition and a time when we have an opportunity to let go of something. When we're dealing with the axis of Leo and Aquarius, we're dealing in the axis of love. And so there is a need to let go or release something at this time. It is said that lunar eclipses are felt more on a personal level, and solar eclipses are felt more on a more collective level, unless, of course, the solar eclipse happens to be hitting a planet in your chart, or your ascendant, or your MC, or one of your angles. So the lunar eclipse, which is on August 7th, is going to, we're going to feel it. It has to do with the full moon, the full fruition of our emotions and our feelings. And so this is a time when you can break free, when some long-standing stalemate blows open. And so wherever that axis, Leo, Aquarius, falls in your chart, this is where you may feel the release of energy. And of course, that just depends on your natal chart. You would have to know, you'd have to see what your natal chart looks like to determine that. And so that would be a good exercise to see where this release of energy. And it's about love. And it's also about our responsibility to each other and our responsibility to the common good. So it's personal responsibility, and it's responsibility to the group. We're all in this together. That's one of the things that Neptune and Pisces and this moon card that gets activated with these numbers tell us. We're all in this together. And, you can't do one thing. You can't do anything that doesn't affect somebody else, and somebody else can't do anything that doesn't affect you. As much as you'd like to build walls or, close down the borders, things are still going to get affected. So that's the full moon lunar eclipse. And then there's the solar eclipse. And I'm going to put that up behind me, or at least the path of that solar eclipse, because it is significant for the United States, as you probably already know. I'll be right back. So the total solar eclipse that's occurring on the 21st of August is occurring at 29 degrees of Leo. So wherever you have 29 degrees of Leo in your astrological chart is where this eclipse is occurring. Total solar eclipse are new moons, and so it's about an ending and a new beginning. And we're dealing with Leo, and Leo is about creative self-expression. So where in your life do you need to reinvent yourself, to recreate yourself? It's really about recreating self. Leo is all about the self. Leo is the sign associated with your will, your personal will, and it is ruled by the sun. And so the sun is being eclipsed. And so this is a perfect opportunity, and I'll put opportunity in quotes because it might not feel like an opportunity, but this is a perfect opportunity to let go of any things that you identify with that are holding you back. And you can reinvent and re-identify yourself. So no matter how stuck in a certain situation, in a certain definition of who you are, you can break free from that and be reborn. So that's kind of an exciting and perhaps different way of looking at this eclipse. So this eclipse is very potent in general for a number of reasons. Of course, it's an eclipse of the sun. The sun rules Leo, so that makes it especially important. And this eclipse also, the path of this eclipse is very specific in that it goes across the continental United States from sea to shining sea. It starts in Oregon and ends up in South Carolina and sort of splits the United States in two, cuts the country right in two. And the thing with the path of a total solar eclipse is that the path itself is not very wide. It's long, okay, because it goes from sea to shining sea. I better watch out what I say. But the path itself, the width of it, is only about 90 miles, and so of totality. And then, of course, as you go out along that, you see it's less and less total, but you still experience it. And so it is. It's rare to even fall on land. We have a lot of eclipses that only touch a little part of a country. This one goes right across, and it's significant for this country. I believe the last time one did this might have been like 1918, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. And so I want to show you the path of this eclipse. Okay, so there's the path of the eclipse, and we can see that it goes right across the country. And so there is research that says that whatever landmass the eclipse falls on, there is change, and there is a change within that country. We had an eclipse back in 1999. It was called, I think, the eclipse of the century, and that actually touched Europe. And that was the start of the European Union. So it's not always a negative connotation, unless you're against the European Union. I guess then it would be negative. But it certainly means that things will change. And so the United States is going to go through a big change. Okay, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there's going to be big changes in the United States. One of the reasons I think for this change is that this eclipse, this total, actually both eclipses, the lunar eclipse and this total solar eclipse, do interact with the President of the United States chart very closely. This eclipse actually falls on the President's ascendant and his Mars, so his who he is and his energy. The aspects of the eclipse, other aspects of the eclipse also are intimate with his chart. And what's interesting about eclipse and eclipse degrees is that they stay sensitive for a long time. So even if nothing actually happens on the day of the eclipse, that degree remains sensitive. And I want to just give you an example of how that is. Even before the eclipse occurs. So this eclipse is at 29 degrees of Leo. Back in May, Leo, the nodes, the transiting nodes of the moon shifted from Virgo Pisces, which they had been in, North Node in Virgo, South Node in Pisces, into Leo Aquarius, North Node in Leo, and South Node in Aquarius. That shift occurred on May 9th. And so the nodes of the moon move backwards, okay? So they go from 30 degrees to 0. So it starts at 30, and then for 18 months or so, it goes through the zodiac sign, and then at the end of that time, it moves into the next zodiac sign, but in this case, it'll be Cancer, okay? But it moved into Leo, and on that day, May 9th, the transiting node made a conjunction to the degree of the eclipse. And that was the day that President Trump fired James Comey. And that really has started, that was the Pandora's box, or the can of worms, that started this whole snowball that we have. And so we can see that there's going to be significant affects or effects from this eclipse for the president. What does it mean? Does it mean he will remain president? Will he be impeached? Will he be assassinated? Sometimes these eclipses are associated with assassinations. I can't say. What I will say is things change, and generally when eclipses occur, there is a change in the person's ability to lead. The solar eclipse, especially in Leo, is the death of the king. And so I don't know. Eclipses are unusual and surprising, and everything about these days now is unusual and surprising. The one thing I think that we have to focus on in this month is that we need to stay true to our own hearts. We need to love one another. We need to help support each other through this. We cannot get caught up in the ups and downs of this and all the emotions of it, because it will not serve us. It is time to recreate ourselves and recreate this planet in a way that is more loving, heart-centered, and fair to everyone concerned, Leo, Aquarius. I want you to have yourself a great month, and if you enjoy this video, press the like button. If you'd like to contact me, see how these eclipses are affecting you, you can reach me at my website, theseedsoftransformation.com. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you again next month. Ciao.